What are we building today, right? What if you never had to process another invoice manually again? So today we're building an AI invoice agent where we're going to connect Gmail, your Gmail, towards the Google Sheet. So imagine you receive an email. Now that email could be one of many types of kinds, right? It could be an information query. It could be a finance query, but it could also be instead of a finance query, it could be I don't know, a product question, a product query, a lot of stuff, right? Like, hey, when you open, hey, why are you not connected, bro? When you open, the other one could be let's do something, something, but one of them is going to be an invoice, right? It'll be an email that contains an invoice. And how can we detect an email with an invoice? Well, it's pretty simple, right? Usually it contains words like invoice, payment, and it has a file attached to it. So in this case, we're going to be working with a PDF file. Now, the steps that we want to take with this is we'd like to break the invoice down into two different pieces. So the first thing we want to have is the contact. And the second thing we want to have is, well, the order or the list items. I think this needs to be an array, and each list item consists of multiple multiple items essentially, right? So we'll split this up, and you want to make sure from here that there's a situation where this now gets put into a sheet. So we're going to have two types of sheets, right? We're going to have our contacts, and obviously, let's put this one down. Everything that comes as a contact is going to be added in here. We're going to have a separate tab, which is going to be our line items. And this is the part that's going to be in Google Sheets. Now, the goal is we'll receive an email, we'll see if it's an invoice, we'll list multiple items, contact, and that's it. Now, I don't know how far we're going to get, but it would be nice if in the Google Sheet we would have, separate columns. So we could say the columns would for an invoice. Actually, we're going to separate this. We're going to call this the invoice, and the invoice will go into the invoices table. And we're just going to have the columns of the invoice, for example, are going to be the sender, the contact ID. We could make a contact ID here, for example. It could be the email. We're going to get the line items. We can just package these as JSON. I don't think that's that bad, especially for now. And we're going to have a status field, which is going to be an enum for approved, declined, or declined and paid. Now, wouldn't it be great that if we change the status, something happens, right? So it would be amazing if then we bring Gmail back in again and we say, you know what? When a invoice is approved, I think that's going to be an option. And we can also say when an invoice instead of approved is declined. We could even have one for paid potentially. That's also an option. Because that's the third one. We could say, hey, you know what? Boom. We're going to send an email. And maybe not. Don't worry, I'm going to zoom in a second. Maybe not. Maybe just draft it. Because you don't want to have the AI hallucinate for something. And you want to be able to test this thoroughly before you actually start going wild with things, right? So this is kind of what we're aiming for. So let's get started. Let's see, we're getting some messages in here. So now where do we start? First thing we need is, we start with a node. So let's get our Gmail We're going to say on message receive, get a message, because I think that's it, right? We just do it on message receive. Is there anything else that's specific? Ooh, you know what's cool? We could add labels. So when the status is moved, add a label to the invoice for categorization. Boom. And then we're going to send an email. So we're going to do a few steps here once you change the status of the invoice from whatever it is in the beginning to approved, declined, and paid. We're going to make sure we get those things ready also. I love it. Now, let's get going. So the first thing we need to receive an email, right? So get many messages, mark a message, reply to message. Well, we're going to definitely need that one. Send, can we draft? Oh, there is a draft option. That's great. So, oh, there's also actions that we can take. Message. Oh, these are actions. So the trigger is definitely going to be on message received. Now, first things first, we're going to need a credential. Well, I have, what? Can we nowadays just do it like this? Sign in with Google, click on this. We're going to give you access, select all. You guys don't see this, but it's just a window. That's it. And amazing. Gmail account, Sean Cool. Demo. No, don't all start emailing me. This is my private email. Nobody has this. I use it every day. Every day. Oh my God. How simple it is to connect Gmail. You see tutorials everywhere. It's like, create a service account. Go to this. Go to OAuth consent screen. Bro, you can literally just connect your... You can just literally connect this. Okay, great. That's fine. This stream is going to be so slow. We need to edit all of this stuff to make it better and faster. Now that we have this, okay, let's connect Google Sheets. Do I need a service account for Google Sheets, or can I just... That's something I'm super interested in. So appender, update a row, Google Sheets account. Let's create an... Oh, legit. Okay, we can also... Okay. Well, we're going to do that we don't need this right now. So, okay. So as we can see, our flow starts with Gmail. We'll receive an email, see if it's an invoice, and take it from there. Now, as for demonstration, I'm going to use my inbox here. Problem is, I didn't consider thinking of sending an actual invoice. So can we generate an invoice? We might have to start this like all over again from the beginning, but fake invoice generator. Pretty sure this one exists. Let's get all the motorcycles to prove all of you I'm not messing with AI, but I'm not an AI. Free invoice generator. Oh my God. And I just literally need like everything in here. Can you not just give it to me? Fake filler. Install for Chrome, add to Chrome, add extension. Let's make fake filler available. Fill this in. Okay, so you know what? Let's keep it real. Who is this from? Sean. We're gonna call myself Sean John. The invoice number is a 1. What the hell is this? Okay, let's refresh. What's... Uh-oh. Okay, this we're definitely gonna cut out. It kind of stored everything in cookies, I'm pretty sure. So that's... Or in local storage, could also be the case. Yeah, I think I saw that already. Yeah, okay. So we're just gonna start like this. Who is this from? This is from Sean, the handyman. This one is for... well, you know what? We're invoicing Omaima. Omaima, the automator. And the date is going to be the 1st of October. The payment terms are 14 days. The due date, therefore, is today. We're late. Or would that be 15th? Yeah, 15th. And there's no... We don't know. We're not going to save all of this. We're going to save the line items. So what are we doing? The handyman fixed the door, added a knob. and created a gate. I don't know what we're doing here, but fine. And the rate is going to be, I'm an expensive cat, Joe. So we're gonna do $100, and that gate took me 24 hours. This one just took me 2 hours, but I'm gonna make, you know how we do, right? And adding a doorknob, yo, legit, that's gonna be 100 hours. And I don't think there's any other nodes that we need. We don't need to add a logo. I mean, we could. Do we have a logo quickly? No, I don't think we have a logo that we can use quickly. SWK. You know what? Let's go. Let's add a actual logo. Boom. We got a logo. No notes needed. Tags. Okay. Let's download this. And how does this look? Amazing. Now, just for the sake of argument, let's create a second one. I think it's important that we have like two. So this second one is not going to be from Sean the handyman. This is going to be from Peter the postman to, well, this is to Sean the handyman actually. And this one was sent on the 9th. We're going to keep 14 days payment term. So 9th would be the 24th. And this is mail delivery postcard. And it is mail delivery bottle of wine. I'm going to call this one. This is one of one. Peter is a little bit cheaper. And now we can download this. Thank you very much. Good to know. Any questions, people in the chat? You can definitely holler at your boy. How does this one look? We'll keep this open also. So we've got two invoices. This was invoice number 2. Let's edit this invoice and let's make this invoice number ridiculous number, invoice 232. Okie dokie. And now we have our two invoices. We have Peter and we have Sean sending an invoice. Thank you very much. So let's find out if we can start with the basics, right? So we'll receive an email. We're going to check out if this is an invoice or not. Now, the most simple way to do this would be to attach an AI agent, right? To see, okay, can I identify what type of email this is? Most importantly, what do we get out of this? Like, let's see if we can do a fetch test event. We received an email here. You're allowed your n8n. Okay, perfect. What we're going to do is just to see what's available. We have an ID, a thread ID, a snippet, payload size, etc., etc. We have all of this information. Thank you. Now we don't need to actually pull. That's fine. We can kind of remove this because we're going to do this manually. Yeah, let's simplify. Okay, perfect. Settings, always output data. Okay, that's fine. Let's see if we can send ourselves an email to seancool.demo@gmail.com. Here's my invoice, by the way. Invoice 02. We're going to send the invoice. Please pay my invoice expeditious. I don't know if that's a word. Oh, it is. Okay, perfect. Send. Now we should have we should have this, right? So let's fetch the test event again. And now we're getting this in. Perfect. The question now is, do we get our attachment? So now we have to take a look. Let's see. Simplify. Okay, I think we need to here download attachments. Yeah, we need to have our attachments. Just checking the documentations. Is there anything else you can do? Time to draft, label, names? No, I think that's it. Do we have the sender? No, the sender isn't. No, from. Yeah, it's there. Perfect. So we have that available. Okay, let's do another fetch test event. And boom, we have our attachment. But now, where is my... Oh, that's the binary. Okay, so we do have our JSON. And then we have our binary. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna save this. I think we can pin this. When it contains binary data. Okay, perfect. That's fine. So here, I think we need to... Can we get like a download media? Add options to download the attachment and add a code node. Split the attachment. Well, I should have done my research, yo. So important thing here is that when you have a Gmail, it seems that you need to then attach it to Google Drive. So what we're going to do, we're just going to get our Google Drive in order. And we're going to upload a file. Now let's create a new credential. As we saw, this is super simple. OAuth recommended. Nah. So we have to have a service one for this. That's stupid. Oh, really? Google Drive, there should be a sign-in. Why is there no sign-in option for this? The following you can also by selecting sign-in Google in the OAuth section. Prerequisites, create a Google Cloud. Yeah, okay. We need to do it like this. The other ones, we were able to do it just immediately. So it sucks that we have to do it this way. So let's go to our Google Cloud Console. I don't think we're going to be able to achieve this all today, yo. We ain't ready. We're going to select a project. I think, let me go to API services. OAuth consent screen. Yeah, so now it's in our demo. App name, I'm going to call this our n8n demo. The user support email is just going to be me. Next, it's going to be internal. You can only make app available. So, okay, that's fine. Next, contact information, we can just do seancroll.demo@gmail.com. Did not expect my 1Password to pre-fill. Next, finish, continue. Create. So now we have our information. Pretty straightforward, all of this. Now, where did we have to go? I think we have to go to API, enabled API services. And then here we need to search for Google Drive. Google Drive API. We're going to enable this one. Okie dokie, that's enabled. And we go to our OAuth consent screen. So create OAuth client. We are doing a web application. I'm going to call this our n8n demo. We don't need any JavaScript origins. We do need to add our UDirectories, which we can find here. OAuth UDirectory. Click to copy. Boom, boom. Where's my... Here. Put the URL in. And that's it. It may take 5 minutes to... Okay, well, I hope this all works because we're live. So we get our client ID. Let's put our client ID in here. And then I assume we're also going to be getting a... JSON, please. Okay. We should be getting a secret as well. Where's my secret, Joe? Client secret, perfect. We can get our secret, put it in as well. Perfect. Nah. We can just click sign in with Google. Ay, caramba. Okay. Editing plan has completed. It's not completed the verification. The app is currently being tested and only accessed by developers. Oh, okay. So, sorry. I need. Okay. Mistake. That button only shows when you add this information in here. So it's not showing right now, but at the moment I thought we could just skip it. So, okay. Okay, perfect. Sign in with Google. Let's try this out. See this work. I think I still need to give myself permission because I'm not getting access here. So I think we can save all of this stuff. Let's go to our audience, add test user. Okay, we do chunk. Oh, save. I am gonna quickly just disable one password, just in case like a credit card shows. Okie dokie. We're gonna try this again. Sign in with Google. Google hasn't verified this app. Well, I don't need to verify the app. I think right now we're in this stuff of doom where we cannot do anything yet. Let me just, I can't save this yet. And why don't you want to go away? Let me quickly save this, refresh. Yeah, okay, that goes away. Upload file, Google Drive account. Let's go to our credentials. Okay, so this was all still set up correctly. No. Oh, okay, you just have to click. So there was a question where it says, hey, it's not tested yet, it's not safe, but you just have to press continue and you continue. So all of that is fine. All right, we're now here. We are live and ready. And the thing that we want to do is we want to upload these files to a Google Drive folder. So what we're going to do is create a new folder. And oh, that's an upload. Plus new folder. I'm going to call this our n8n, well, AI invoice agent. Let's just call it that. Keep the name super simple. At the same time, I think we can, well, we'll create a spreadsheet in a second. Thank you. I'll kind of already know this stuff. So let's connect Google Drive. You want a resource will be a file 404. Okay, I think we're good there. We're going to upload this, input data field name. Well, it's connected here. So let's take a look at what we are fetching from here. Attachment 0. So I'm expecting that's the field that we need. File name. Well, I would appreciate it if we could just keep it the file name. But in this case, since the file name isn't available, what happens if we... Oh, okay, the original file name is going to be used. That's amazing. Parent drive, we have my drive. The folder that we're going to put this in is AI invoice agent. Oh, that's great. Let's see if there's a property that we need to have. OCR, okay, no, that's fine. We can just execute this step. So what happens if we execute this? Let's see if our file gets actually uploaded into our Google Drive. Boom, there we have it. So right now we have the first principle of what we want to be doing, right? We have we'll receive an email, it's an invoice, we'll upload it, or it has an attachment. Now, in between this, you kind of want to also classify. So what we find out today right now is, can we classify this email to understand if it is a an invoice, and if only if it's an invoice, we actually want to upload the file, or we can upload the file, and if it's not an invoice, then we delete it, right? That's also the possibility. So what we're going to do right now is see if we can get an AI agent added to this. And what we're going to do from here is we're going to take a look at our schema. We're going to have a define below. Hi, you are an expert invoice agent. Your job is to, and this is obviously we're writing the prompt here, your job is to identify, what the hell is best viewer show? Add to block list. Oh, we're having Twitch spam. How can we have Twitch spam when we have 0 people watching? How is that even possible? It is what it is. You're an expert invoice agent. Your job is to classify incoming emails and judge them whether or not they are an invoice. If they are, well, this is interesting. So what if they are? because I need them to classify, and then from there I needed to take steps, you know? So I kind of need you to tell me, um, hmm, I am going to see what is the best way to go about this. Because the question here is, because we need a deterministic output, right? So we need to have our agent, n8n agent deterministic. I'm just gonna search for some stuff. I want to be able to find out if an n8n agent can be this deterministic in its output to classify. We can set the output option, I believe, specific output format, connect an output parser, node, structured output parser, auto-fixing, undeprecated uses, item list, returns, okay. We can do a structure, generate from JSON example, structure, output parser. Helpers are required to make them optional. Well, what I need is a classification. So let's figure this out. Returns node fields is the parser node to return fields based on JSON. On this page, you'll find a node parser. Okay. Schema type, perfect. Generate from JSON example. Okay, we got that. Define using JSON schema. Okay, that all seems fine. This is based off a length change. So what I want to do here is I want to tell it that it has a type. Oh, we can just use this base. And the type should be invoice, or we can just say is invoice, and it's going to be true. Now you hope that it's going to infer from here that it's going to be defined using JSON schema. Okay, type object, properties, type string, cities, type string. Okay, maybe this is better. Maybe we can better use this. So property is going to be is invoice, and we're just going to do a Boolean. And then we can skip the cities. All this seems fine. Do we need to return prompt? No, always both complete and incomplete. Please try again. Okay, we're just going to keep it like this. Save. Okay. Now we're going to say, please specify using species specify if this is an invoice by returning is invoice with either true if it is an invoice and false when it isn't. Right, let's execute this step. Now, there's no need to rename them because renaming it's just a file. Right now, the question is like, is this an invoice or not? So what we're going to do is we're going to add our chat model. In this case, we're going to go with OpenAI. Now, ChatGPT 5 is slow, yo. So we're going to go GPT 4.1. I think that's fair enough. We can also connect this to this model. Do we need a tool? We don't need a tool. So let's execute this. Let's see what it comes up with. Output. Okay, we have 0 output. It went to the structured parser. Action parse text output is invoice false. It said it's an invoice is false. Okay, but that's also because it didn't have any information. This is the email. Subject. Let's get the subject. Okay. Let's go to, okay, perfect. That's good. And then body is going to be the body. And then we're going to say attachment. Do we have the attachment name here by any chance? Because that would be amazing. Let's see, invoice subject. Here's my invoice on the way too. Okay, no. We do have the binary. Can we add any of this in here? No, we can't. So let's execute the step. Okay. And we are getting nothing back. Let's go to our logs here. Action parse. Okay, we're getting is invoices true on these occasions. So it should be getting back is invoice. Oh, see, now we're getting it back. The output is invoices true. Now let's, for the sake of argument, just send a test email. Hi, how are you doing? It was lovely. Oh, well, boom. Send. So let's now get a new stuff. We have the new field. We're going to now test this out. Let's execute this step. Let's see what our output gives. And his invoice is full. So at this point right now, we have succeeded in a very important part. Is this an invoice or is this not an invoice? Now, the next step is going to be so much easier now that we know what's there, because we now know that we're going to only upload the file if it is an invoice, right? So let's move this to trash. Okay, so we have this. Now we're going to do an routing if returns root right item. So if invoice is true, we continue. Do we continue? Do we get the binary? That's the question. That is the question. Because if we don't get the binary, we have a problem. So we're going to see right now. And if it's false, there's no issue here. We can just continue. So let's quickly save this. Let us delete the last email because we now don't need this anymore. So we can fetch our new test event, which has the binary, right? And why don't we just execute the workflow? Let's see where we get. Okay, we're stranded here. Warning true is a boolean was expecting a string. So okay, so here the condition is whether this is equal to true. Warning type true is a boolean but expecting string is equal to. Oh, okay, we just have to do this. So can I execute the step? It's okay. So let's execute this workflow again. Drive is empty. Is empty. Okay, upload file has been. Operations node, the binary file was found none, right? So it's not getting access to our binary file, which is horrible because you kind of want to get this file. So what we're seeing right now is that we cannot get the binary file to be uploaded if we don't have if we don't immediately attach this to this, right? So we need for some way to retain the binary file. So how do we do that? Is there a possibility? Let's find out. n8n save binary file between steps. Because then the answer is going to be okay. So can we add in a merge node that fetches the binary? Can we put this together? Would that work? And we have it, people. But then the question is, what if it's false? First, let's clean this up. Let's just put true to number 2, and let's put this one to number 1. So now we're going to find out if this works. Let's do a quick test, right? So execute the workflow. Let's find out if we can get this information over to, okay, there's still no binary with attachment 0. So let's take a look. We have attachment 0 here. So we are getting attachment 0. And it's 52.2 megabytes, kilobytes. Operation expects the node's input data to contain a binary file, attachment 0, but none was found. But why are you talking about because I have this here. Google Drive, input attachment name is attachment 0. We make the notes contain number, but none was found. Item 1. Hmm. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let's actually get. I want to check something because I didn't realize that maybe. Okay, see, there's no binary here. Right? There's the schema, there's the table, there's the JSON. But if we disconnect this, we put this here, and then we connect it over, and now we just execute the workflow. We get things in. It has the binary because the binary is here. It makes no sense that there isn't a binary. It is oh, and boom, it's literally uploading here. So let's do this test, right? Let's delete these two files. Let's execute this step. And it's back again. Okay. But that means something is still going wrong. So the thing that's going wrong most likely is that there's no binary from here. So let's merge this. Number of inputs. What if I just want to output data from a specific branch without modifying it? What if we combine these items together? Fields to match have different names. Input field 1. Oh. So the output is 2 items, as we can see here. The first one is the schema, or is the data like this, and the second one is the binary. So we're getting the original data, and we're getting the binary because it is now together in a merge. But why is it giving me 2 items? You should give me 1, right? So what if we just do combine without any? Let's see what happens if we combine them. You need to define at least one pairing fields to match. What are the fields that we could potentially match this on? I have no idea. Let's just do a cross join. Okay, this is it. I'm gonna bet the house that this is gonna work. We're gonna execute this workflow. Oh, there's already an invoice, so no errors whatsoever, and we have a second invoice because that's the 7:33. That's my time right now. It's evening. This is amazing, isn't it? So now we have our invoice agent, and we have 30 minutes left. We'll continue the rest tomorrow, but this is already amazing of where we are. This is insane. The level of quality that you're seeing on the stream is unheard of. I know, people. Stop the applause. Stop buying subs. So let's move on. What do we have here? Our next thing right now is we're going to need a Google Sheet. Right? So let's keep everything in the invoice agent. Let's put the invoices in an invoice folder. And let's create a Google Sheet. And the Google Sheet that we're going to call is going to be our AI invoice agent invoices. So many things. We're going to have our invoices sheet, and we're going to have our contacts sheet. Now let's take a look at that invoice builder, right? So I believe that this should be in like our history. What was that invoice builder that we have? Invoices, invoice generator. So we can take a look at the stuff that we have. So we have field 1 is billing 2, right? So we would like to have we can reorganize these later. So on the invoice, we have the bill 2. We have, well, I'm not going to do shipping. I think that's a little bit too much. But we have the date. We have the payment terms. We're just going to map all of these fields in over. Now, one thing I do like is the PO number. It's going to be very interesting to have a PO number because why? POs just happen along the way. What I've seen in all of these builders is that they have this little ugly JSON field in here where they put things, and I would like to, what I would ideally like to do is that we have a record. This would be the record A, and then for each one it would have like the line items, and it would have a record A record AB, a record AC, and then this stays empty. I don't think that's going to be possible immediately, but we'll see what we can do. Maybe we can. You never know. Right now we're just going to do it like this. So we have our line items. And then obviously we're going to have our subtotal. No, I think we just have to have the amount. So total amount, total. And we're going to have a status. And the status is going to be a possibility between open or pending. I accepted, como se dice, declined, and paid. These are going to be your statuses. Now, for our context, I'm not going to, because actually our invoices don't have any context. So for the sake right now and the time, we're not going to do anything. We're just going to keep it as it is. But this is the direction that we're taking. So let's keep this in mind when it comes to our documentation. So after we have successfully uploaded the file, the next thing is that we can actually start implementing our Google Sheets, right? Because we have this already. We have a Google Sheet. Now, you might think it's good to then use this and then attach the Google Sheet from here, which actually is not that bad, actually. It's not a bad idea. But what we're going to be doing, what we're going to be experimenting with is, what people don't know is OpenAI has the option to analyze an image, and it also has the option to upload a file. So now how great would it be if we can upload a file to OpenAI? And the only thing that we kind of need to do is OpenAI has storage. I want to see what happens if we upload this. I'll send. I can't share you my stuff right now because it's on another window, but I'll see what's possible. So we're going to do attachment 0. Now, obviously, this can't work from here, so we got to connect it also from the merge element. Let's see what happens if we run this. Execute the workflow. Now, lo and behold, we have an OpenAI file saved right now, as we can see here. And we can actually access this. So because this is part of our files and we have the file ID, we can now actually play with this file, have our assistant analyze it. So, there's a lot of people that are doing like OCR. So you have an invoice. All right, let's find out how we can, let's scan the image. Let's scan a JPEG and then see what is possible. 1 second. I gotta quickly pass something over to somebody. So what we're seeing here is we can upload this. Now, the question is, how the hell do we talk to you? Because that's the question, right? How do we talk to you? Because now that we have this file, I'd like to see if we can talk to you. Can we ask ChatGPT to analyze this file? And can we ask a question about it? So, important thing to know, as we see in here, right? Oh, by the way, we gotta quickly change the folder for invoices. So let me go back to my upload to Google Drive. We're gonna put this into invoices under Google Drive. Execute this step. And now I believe it should be under invoices. We should have one of them. Yeah, there we go. Now, as we see in Google Drive, as we saw, there was already an invoice too, but regardless, we still need to add another one, right? So we want to make sure that we how do we do this, y'all? So I think I know how. I think after we've uploaded the file to OpenAI, and by the way, I don't think we even need this anymore. After we've uploaded to OpenAI, we can add an AI agent. Now, the AI agent is going to be defined below And then can you, and what I hope we're getting from this, okay, do we get the file name? Oh, we get the file name. Beautiful. So here's what I'm going to tell you. We're going to upload the file. Where's my notes? How can you make a note? Okay, note here. So we're going to upload the file, then ask the AI agent to summarize it in a structured format. And after completion, we delete the file. Because you gotta delete the file. It's you have to. Why? Well, I'm gonna keep it very simple and real with you. If you don't delete the file, and you have two invoices too, two file names of the same, it's gonna have difficulty finding it. Well, we have a file ID that's which is relative. I don't think we might not even have to delete it. Do we get the file ID? Yeah, we get it as well. Okay, cool. Let's do a quick test here. Can you let's pin this request because we don't need the actual file. Can you summarize the file for me? Execute step. Let's see what it tells us. I'll have the ability to access your files you can provide. Okay, wait, add option. Do we have, oh, we need a tool. We need the tool, obviously. OpenAI. Um, OpenAI. What the hell? File? Don't tell me I can't get a file from OpenAI in oh, AI? OpenAI? Oh, here, yeah, there we go. Um, list files. File, okay, we can just resource file, assistant. That's the purpose. Text, image, custom API, call that's file, list files, list file, upload file. Okay, perfect. Oh, wait, we didn't do it as a tool. Okay, that sucks. So it seems like I cannot get this file from here. So it would have been great if I could have gotten this file from OpenAI and then have the AI agent fetch file from OpenAI storage. I mean, okay, what we're gonna do here, we can just do this. Extract this. What happens if we do this? Let's disconnect you. Let's disconnect you. Let's add extract from file. What if we extract from PDF? Input. Okay, attachment 0. Bro, why is that attachment 0? Because we might have more attachment, right? We want to have the first one. Attachment 0. Okay, cool. We have it like this. Let's execute this step. What happens if we do this? Okay, the text. Oh, that is interesting. Can you get me a structured JSON back that is based off of the following invoice data? And then we put the text in here, execute this. Output. Okay. All this stuff, yeah. Invoice number, ID, vendor, bill to. Amazing. So now we're gonna add an output parser just like we did before. We're gonna define generate from JSON example. You know what? I need a JSON. I am going to ask ChatGPT to create me structured data. Because that's what we do nowadays, right? Everything gets handled and offloaded to it. So I just asked it a question, can you generate me structured JSON example schema based off of this? Unfortunately, I can't share this because it's like a different Windows session, but it's what it is. And then it's kind of giving me not what I need. It's now giving me this. So we're going to ask it again. Well, actually, that's not bad because I think this is an example that we can use. So let's do this from a JSON example. We'll put this in here. Perfect. What else do we need? Do we have our output structured output parser? Why is this one so big, yo? And this one's so small. That's our, oh, what did we do? That's our model. Okay. Let's execute this. All right. We have our bill too. We have our date. We have our payments. We do it. We have our PO number. We have our line items. We have our amount, and we have our status. It even gave us a status, but the status is wrong because the status needs to be pending or paid. So, but the status is always going to be the same. So we actually don't need the status. So I'm just going to remove this. The example. Make sure to always remove your commas. Let's execute you one more time. And we have our invoices. Now, I'm going to make my life easier and just do the one because I don't need an array. Execute step. Great. This is never seen before. This is the most amazing stuff ever. And now, okay, so we had it in OpenAI. We don't need it anymore. Why are we saving this in the file, yo? Why we don't need it? Okay, well, let's just have it in Google Drive because it might be beneficial to have this also. So what we'll do is we're going to merge this data together because, again, we're going to need a merge set. Why? I want to save the link to the Google file there. So we're going to combine these two. And then matching fields. Is there a matching field? No. We're going to just all possible combinations. Or combine items based in the order. Let's see what, oh wait, need to have a, this is going to be input number 2. This is going to be input number 1. Now, what was the output that we had here? Yeah, that's the application, the ID, parents. Okay, we have the web content link, web view link. Amazing. So now if we execute this step, we should have both of them coming through. Well, it's a lot of stuff from let's pin this data. Let's just execute step. Where are my, well, let's go to schema. Okay, we can see my output. Okay, so output is the thing that I need in this case. And now I can go to my Google Sheets. I can append or update a row in a sheet. We're going to do that because what if the invoice already exists, right? So what's great to have here is that we can do an ID or Google Drive link. And we're going to have that be the ID. So in our Google Sheets account, we're going to sheet within document. We're going to append or update a row. This is the wrong account. We need to connect ours. So let's connect Mr. Sean Cool. Continue, Google Sheets, seancool.demo@gmail.com. I don't think close. Oh, never mind. Well, I didn't save it. It is what it is. Okay, we're going to save this to our invoices. Select our comments to match. Well, our Google Drive link, we have a web content link and we have a web view link. I think the best, because this one is the download, this one is the view link. So let's use the view link so you can immediately see it in the browser. We're going to have our build to, for which we have our fields all the way in the output. We have our build to. We have our date. We have our payment terms. And don't forget, our status is going to be pending. We have our due date. We have our PO number. We have our line items, and we have our amount total. I think that's this one. That the other one is total. We need to have this one because we know we were expensive. We charged like 100 or 10,000 for something. And now we're just going to execute the step. Column to match home. Okay. So our column to match home parameter is the Google Drive link. I'm going to execute this again. And now let's see what happens. All right. We have our first, we kind of messed up, right? Because I didn't delete these things. So let me delete these rows. I'm going to delete this again. And now I'm going to execute this step. We should have it here. Now, if we run this again, it should not create a second line. And it didn't create a second line. Now, this is important. I'm going to be super transparent and tell you every time we run this, it's going to upload the file again. But only in testing practice you do this, right? So it's not a big deal. I honestly also don't think it's a big super deal that, well, here you want to have uniqueness, right? You don't want to have files added, but if you run the automation again on the same file, it will upload again here. And because the Google Drive link is different, it will again have a different file URL as well. So it will add again. So you got to be careful not to keep running this automation over and over and over again. That's it. Now we are saving our information. And obviously, the next thing that we can do from here, we can say, you know what? Let's add another one. Let's add another note. We're going to do another Google Sheets. And we're going to append or update a row in new sheet. We use the same account. I got to rename this account, but we'll do this after the flow. From list, our AI invoice agents. And now we're going to go to context. We can see context, there's no fields. So let's go to context and let's do our name, address, right? But because we don't have any, what we're just going to do is we're going to use the name in the email. So, and by the way, it's not bad to add this to our invoice or name and email as well. We might do that in the next iteration. But for here, we're just going to go back, refresh our fields. And inside of the name, we're going to set the sender, which I actually don't have. But I should have this from the Gmail trigger. The from is show and call a demo, and the email is this. We're going to execute the step. Go to context. We saw a mistake there. Columns to match parameter. Obviously, that's going to be the email. And boom, we have our contacts and we have our thing in there. So now you have your own AI invoice classifier, putting it in there. I would have loved to continue today and spoke about what happens if we approve things, if we decline, if we paid, but we'll do this in a second run. Right now, I think we already have an amazing workflow that you can implement immediately, soon to be found online and soon to be available as well. This was a blast. I've absolutely loved it. Thank you for being here. And until the next time.